It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update, as a promotion has reached out to Tessa Blanchard about a possible debut, Roman Reigns goes in on AEW's Jon Moxley, and Tony Khan all but confirms CM Punk's AEW debut. All that and more coming up in today's video, but first... In a news video posted just hours ago, I discussed an upcoming premiere of a podcast that involves CM Punk. Renee Paquette's Oral Sessions YouTube channel listed a CM Punk interview scheduled for 10 PM Eastern tonight, which I assumed was fresh content ahead of tonight's AEW Rampage show. I've now been alerted of a tweet from Renee herself, who has confirmed that the podcast is indeed an old one from last year. Whilst this wasn't made clear in the video description, I'd just like to redact that story, so sorry if I got your hopes up there. But don't feel too down, as later in the video we discuss a fresh interview, this time with AEW President Tony Khan, who all but confirmed CM Punk's appearance tonight at Rampage. And speaking of CM Punk, AEW announcer and wrestling legend Paul Wight today spoke with ESPN's Sports Nation, and the topic of the Second City Saints' expected appearance came up. The former Big Show went on to hint at a CM Punk debut and discussed the impact that it would have on the wrestling business if true. Wight said, "Tonight is a night on Rampage where in the future people are going to say, hey, do you remember when? We're in Chicago, United Center, sold out. There's a lot of rumors going around and a lot of scuttlebutt. There's an opportunity tonight for someone to make an appearance on Rampage here in AEW that will literally knock the wrestling world on its keister. This is one of the biggest anticipated events that I can remember in a long time. I was trying to think about it today. What is it compared to? Is it compared to Hulk Hogan going to WCW? Does it compare to the NWO? Stone Cold Steve Austin's glass-breaking Austin 316? What kind of impact, if the rumors are true, will this have on the wrestling business? I can neither confirm nor deny what kind of impact tonight's Rampage will have on the wrestling industry for the future." Whilst this isn't as much confirmation as we have later in the video, if the rumours were indeed false, it's likely AEW talent would be briefed to not discuss it so openly. And as I mentioned, we have more on CM Punk later on in the video. And if you are planning on watching Rampage The First Dance and you're outside of the US, make sure you check out my link to AEW Plus on Fight, where you can watch tonight's show live as well as every past AEW Dynamite episode and AEW Rampage, but there's only one so far. And you can get every AEW episode for just $5 a month, and there's also a 7-day free trial if you want to watch tonight's AEW The First Dance for free. That link, as I say, is in the description. Next up, we have a report from the Wrestling Observer where Dave Meltzer has provided an update regarding the future of NXT. WWE have ended their partnership with Full Sail University, who have hosted NXT events since 2012. A huge number of historic NXT moments happened at the venue, with there being hundreds of shows that were taped there. WWE have instead decided to keep the Black and Gold brand in-house, where it will continue to be filmed from the Capitol Wrestling Center inside the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. NXT has been filmed from this new part of the training center since October 2020, starting at NXT TakeOver 31. According to the report, the belief within the company is that on television the show looks too dark, so the idea is to make the studio brighter with more lights and also making it more colourful looking. The next NXT show goes down on Sunday, where they present the NXT TakeOver 36 event, with the next set of TV tapings set for Monday and Tuesday. Since her Impact Wrestling departure in March 2020, former Impact World Champion Tessa Blanchard has only worked 2 matches, one for SFW and one for Warrior Wrestling, where she dropped her women's title to Kylie Ray. Since then, she has relocated to Texas, where she still trains in the ring. We now have an update from Fightful, who are reporting that Tessa was contacted by a promotion this summer to inquire about her availability. The National Wrestling Alliance is said to have put feelers out, which was confirmed by sources within the company. Fightful were told what the specific pitch was, but didn't specify in the report, although they did note that talks seem to have been tabled for the time being. This news comes ahead of the NWA women's only pay-per-view Empower, which takes place on August 28th. This is just speculation from me, but perhaps the talks involved an appearance on this show, with many considering Blanchard to be one of the best female wrestlers on the planet. We'll keep you updated should any further news break regarding this story. And quickly, just before we continue, make sure you scroll down and drop a like and subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss any upcoming wrestling content as we head towards 20,000 subscribers. But now that you've done that, let's get on with the rest of the video. Flashback to 2012, where The Shield began their takeover of WWE. The team of Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins went on to become one of the most powerful factions in modern wrestling history. In the end, Roman Reigns ended up being WWE's chosen one, being pushed as the top dog in the promotion for a number of years, and still is to this day. This whilst Dean Ambrose, now known as Jon Moxley in AEW, never quite got the push that many fans felt he deserved. Roman spoke with BT Sports' Ariel Helwani this week to hype up the upcoming SummerSlam main event between himself and John Cena, and during the interview he was asked about his former Shield brothers. Much like we saw with CM Punk in an earlier video today, Roman was not too kind about the former AEW World Champion Moxley and said, "Dean Ambrose obviously is doing what Dean is doing. I think he's happy over there at AEW. If he could have been the man here in WWE, he would have been the man here, but he couldn't be the man here because I'm the man." Seth Rollins is going through the same thing. He's doing great. I can say that as someone who is still doing better than him. I'm the Universal Champion. I'm the head of the table. This is my company. He's still a great talent who is doing some of the best work of his career. Ariel then went on to wonder when Roman last spoke to Moxley, with the tribal chief revealing that it's been a good few months and said, "It's been a while. The last time was around WrestleMania. I need to reach out to him and give him a congrats on the baby and everything. With everything going on and pandemic and being back on the road and dealing with John Cena, it's been a crazy quarter." As mentioned, Roman Reigns is set to main event SummerSlam this Saturday against John Cena, defending his WWE Universal Championship in the process. As we've talked about relentlessly on this channel over the past few weeks, CM Punk is expected to debut tonight at AEW Rampage: The First Dance, live from the United Center in Chicago, Illinois, which is of course his hometown. This has not only been teased by AEW and CM Punk himself, and if you've kept up with my videos, I'm sure you're on board with this being almost guaranteed at this point. With that said, there is still a small minority of people in the comments that still believe it's too good to be true, and with our final video before tonight's Rampage, let me bring you a story that should reassure you that CM Punk will indeed be there tonight. Today, AEW President Tony Khan appeared on Busted Open Radio to make his weekly appearance on the show. As expected, Tony was asked about the rumours heading into tonight's huge Rampage, and he all but confirmed that the rumours indeed are true when he said, "It's great to be able to have those possibilities and not to have everything spoiled for you. But on the other hand, I think everybody has a pretty good idea what to expect tonight. I don't like to let people down, and I have no plans to disappoint anybody tonight. I think people are going to be very happy with what they see." They've been waiting to see this for a long time, and finally, at the first dance, I think we're going to satisfy a lot of people and make a lot of wrestling fans really happy. And we're going to make some new fans. There are going to be people that read about what happened tonight, and they're going to want to come check out AEW, and that's exactly the reaction we're looking for. So let's just quickly go back and read the significant line once again for those that weren't paying attention. I think everybody has a pretty good idea what to expect tonight. I don't like to let people down, and I have no plans to disappoint anybody tonight. If you're still in doubt as to if CM Punk is showing up on Rampage: The First Dance, please do let me know what else this could possibly mean. And one more time for those not listening at the back, I think everybody has a pretty good idea what to expect tonight. I don't like to let people down, and I have no plans to disappoint anybody tonight. What Khan is basically saying is, yes, the CM Punk reports are true, but I still don't want to officially say his name until the debut has happened because I don't want to spoil it. It's safe to say that your favourite wrestler and mine is indeed making his official wrestling return tonight. This follows Khan's tweet from earlier today, which confirmed we will see the most anticipated announcement in AEW history, which will no doubt be linked to Punk's arrival, and it's unclear if the announcement is simply that he's signed, or perhaps a confirmation of his first match, or maybe something else. It's safe to say though that it's officially clobbering time. And before you go, make sure you check out my video where I discuss the secret wrestling returns of CM Punk during his so-called retirement.